Welcome to the Water Valley Voice. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Water Valley Voice. Today we are interviewing my dad again, Martin Lind, and we are going to be talking about all things Cascadia. The big question, the elephant in the room. We're going to be answering all your guys' questions that we get online, in person. So we wanted to start. Dad, please reintroduce yourself again.
Good morning, boo-boo.
Good morning, Dad.
Hi.
Hi. Today's all about Cascadia.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
It actually is. It's a fun how it incubated, and it's exciting, and I can't wait to share.
Yeah. So I think the biggest question is, how did Cascadia start? I think one of the biggest misconceptions is that Greeley, you went to Greeley, and I want them to understand that actually Greeley came to you.
That's
so
right.
Walk us through the
That's
vision that you had, but really the vision that Greeley had coming to you.
Right. So years ago, I'm going to say about 3, John Gates and Raymond Lee, the current city manager at the time, and their entire entourage had asked for an appointment over here. And obviously we haven't developed in Greeley since 1991 when we did Westlake. And
your very first development.
Right, exactly. And John came over, and I've known John for decades and know his wife Patty very well, but I've never done anything over there. And John brought the whole entourage, introduced Raymond, and Raymond had it was just a complete paradigm shift to city planning departments and public works that we'd ever worked with. They were very aggressive, and they had this crazy vision that they really wanted to break the mold. The stigma of Greeley is not the place to be, and they wanted to make it the place to be.
The place to be.
And John, I'm trying to think what words he used. I won't remember exactly, but John said, I don't want to leave Greeley how I found it. I don't want Greeley to just grow one more bedroom community a mile at a time and a mile at a time.
Yeah.
And we have this 5,000 acres of greenfield dirt when you enter Greeley on Highway 34. That's the most unencumbered, beautiful canvas to go paint. We want some ideas on what it might look like. Would you help us envision that? And they wanted to pay me, and they wanted to retain me. And I go, I don't want any money for that. I'm honored. I'm beyond honored. And obviously it's an important part to all of the stuff that we've done, because it's kind of the third leg of the stool for Water Valley Rain Dance. And so that area in West Greeley it touches Windsor. It's part of everything we do, and super honored. Didn't want to be paid. I just said, well, let me go come up with some ideas. I do need you to hire my land planner.
Yeah.
And it was super interesting. I got a call from Mitch maybe an hour later down in Denver at Norris Design. And he said, what are you doing with Greeley?
Just immediately on board.
Immediately. And I go, how in the heck do you know that I'm doing something with Greeley? And he goes, I just got a call from somebody at Greeley and said they want to retain our firm to help you envision what West Greeley could look like. I go, wow, that's quick. I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah.
So it was super exciting, super fun.
Yeah.
And we're literally right now, if you drive into Greeley, you see a kind of industrial storage on the right side of the road if you're going east.
Yeah.
You see a junkyard or a salvage yard on the north side. On the left, you go another 2 miles, and there's an overpass, and it says Greeley. There's not a single tree, not a bush, not a flower. And it doesn't say, welcome to Greeley. It doesn't say, Greeley, we own more water than everybody else. Ha, ha, ha. It just says Greeley.
Yeah.
And so it really is a very stale and very boring entryway into a city. And, you only get one chance to make the first impression. So I immediately was all excited. We didn't own a single stitch of land up there or anything. I ran out. I grabbed your grandpa. He was 90.
Nose wrinkle. This is actually a really cool story we should tell about the connection between Grandpa and the junkyard.
Good thing he's still alive, or I'd really be bawling. He was probably 92 or 93 at the time, and I went out, grabbed him, and said, let's go for a drive, and we trespassed on all that land, because he's lived here his whole life. And luckily I had the Raptor, right? And so what happened here? What was this? Blah, blah, blah. And he starts telling me a story of this old guy named Merkline, and he tried to put a dairy back there and went broke, and it was on the north side. I go, how in the heck could you have a dairy back here? And he goes, he actually dug a ditch from the Greeley-Loveland system through the Oklahoma system all the way back there. And it's very terrain. And and he knew exactly what it was. And I'll be damned if we didn't go find some old headgates and some things. And So I go, well, it makes sense to celebrate water since Greeley has all the water resources.
And that's what you've always been about.
Yeah. And it's an interesting thing that Loveland gets to play on the water that Greeley owns. And when you hit the Greeley border, it's nothing but a desert.
Yeah.
So the Greeley residents are paying for it, and they own all of that water in Boyd Lake, Lake Loveland, Horseshoe, Equalizer, Houts. I could name them all. But Greeley doesn't get a play on it. Loveland gets to collect the sales tax, and they have art parks on it. And nothing against Loveland. I would if I was them too. But the water is stored to the west, and it's utilized to the east for the fields. And that's how the ag system worked.
Right.
So we went up there, and I go, it's water. And then all of those old gullies and that terrain, that topography that were just these little trenches, not big trenches, in the ground.
Yeah.
Through our 40 years of water knowledge at working in development, I knew that there was a thing called a non-jurisdictional dam, and it's where you can store water without having a jurisdictional dam, which means you don't need any dam insurance. And so you're limited on the depth and you're limited on the size, but you can make all these little water storage things, 10 acres at a time. And so I had Norris, hey, what would it look like if we filled all the topography with water non-jurisdictionally? And so we used that criteria, and now all of a sudden there's all these little pockets of water. So now from the air, when you look down on the plan, you saw this beautiful thing, but it kind of looked like the arteries on a heart with little blue dots everywhere.
Yeah.
But then when you slid down and looked at it horizontally, you had waterfall after waterfall after waterfall. I go, look at all that water cascading. That would be really beautiful. Let's call it Cascadia. We just invented it. It was that simple. And the rest is history, and it's been a great, successful project. It was easy.
Yeah.
Not.
Yeah, not. But to clarify, Greeley came to you.
They came to me, yes.
Yeah. And were you the first developer that they ever talked to? Or
I think so, and it was intentional because we've been successful at having projects of Water Valley and Rain Dance that have attracted that person that wants to live in this special place where they just love life. Right. And they come home at night and they don't get back in a car, and they can go fishing or golfing, or they can go do the things to play, hop in a golf cart and do all the things that we do here.
Well, and I think that's what you do best is you live, work, play.
Right.
And you work here.
And it's called amenity-based development, and you build amenities, and they're different, and each one has a personality. Rain Dance has those orchards and farms and all of the fun ag stuff up there, and then they have a golf course, and obviously we've got a couple golf courses here at Water Valley, and we have the lakes. And so amenity-based development attracts a certain demographic that can go live where they want to live. And so what's happened and what's irritated Mayor Gates was they incubate business after business after business, and successful business person after business person in Greeley. And when they create wealth or create affordability, they fly over here to Windsor and they live here. Yeah. Or they run up to Timnath and they live at Harmony, or they go over to TPC and Berthoud.
Sure.
But they're living,
Denver,
right, but they're living where they can afford to. And so Greeley's having this difficult time hanging on to the people that build the wealth where their factories or where their shops are. Mm-hmm. They're flying to greener pastures. Yeah. And so they go, let's bring the greener pastures home. Here. Right? Right. It was never intentional for me to come over and be a developer. It was just for me to, and again, it was super honoring.
Get a vision.
Yeah. And then what they would do with that is then they would maybe adopt a new comprehensive plan and say, this is that's our vision. Yeah. And then in the middle of that, I don't remember exactly how it was, but it was really getting cool, and it was really starting to come to life with what if? Mm-hmm. And they said, would you consider moving the Eagles over here? And we had just we had just been awarded the RFP in Larimer County to build the new arena. And the new arena is something that we've worked for decades on. Right. Because the day we opened the Budweiser Event Center, we were sold out.
Yeah. Which was
so 25 years later, right, 5,000 seats. 25 years later, there's been 500,000 people move north of Longmont. So if you just have 1% of the new growth in northern Colorado for the last 25 years, that's 500,000 people. So if you have 1% of just the new growth, not the old growth, but just the new growth, the people that have moved here since we dropped the first puck,
5,000 people.
That's another Bud Center. Right. So we've known that. And so when we moved to the American Hockey League, I got a variance from the American Hockey League to play in a building that's the smallest one in the league. Yeah. Yes. But they love our model and they love what we do. So we got that variance. And so in 2018, we helped Larimer County get a tax passed to extend their current tax that paid for the ranch another 20 years out to 2040, which would let them bond us a new arena.
Mm-hmm.
And, the hockey kids carried the signs, and we gave signs away at all the games and vote yes on one and blah, blah, blah. And it was an overwhelming victory for Larimer County.
Right.
And, as whatever luck, fate, call it whatever you want, happened, it didn't happen. And then when it did happen, we were awarded the contract. They required me to bring in another developer because they wanted somebody that had proven track record of delivering big billion-dollar projects. So we brought in a company called Matthews Southwest out of Texas. And we really weren't in any communication with the county from February until May. It was Matthews.
What year was this?
2024.
Okay.
And then May of 24, we get a letter from the county saying, hey, we're not doing the project. And I honestly, I was like,
After all that work.
Yeah. It was just like, we're terminating the award of RFP, blah, blah, blah. And that's all it said. And so we were kind of taken back. We called Matthews, and they were taken back, and they said, you know what, we're not interested in this project anymore. So you know me, get hailed out, go do something else.
Yeah.
So I called John and Raymond that day and said, hey, we were just terminated. I need to come look. I think I'm being told to go back to Weld County. I think I'm being told. So
go back east.
Mm-hmm.
Go back east.
And so we started looking at what that would look like. Well, economically, Larimer County had a tax passed to help pay for this stuff. Greeley doesn't. So we had to come up with another funding mechanism to make that work. In Larimer County, the Rocky Mountain Grand Hotel was our project. That was a private equity that didn't have government involved in it.
Right.
But that was the engine that made all the money. Arenas and soccer fields and baseball stadiums, they don't really make money. What they do is they create the vortex of the money that's going to be spent.
Around.
And then the sales tax and the property tax and all the mushroom cloud of the economic engine of that, that's what makes money.
Yeah.
So, for instance, Coors Field doesn't really make money leasing to the Rockies. But look what happened to downtown Denver when Coors Field was built.
Exactly.
Right? It's the exact same thing.
Yeah.
But Greeley didn't have the mechanism to pay for it. So I really felt like my career, I started with nothing. So we've been really blessed. And so we worked a deal, and I said, we'll just give you the hotel. You can have the hotel because that creates all the energy and the money. So we put the hotel into the deal, which we don't own. The city of Greeley was going to own it through Providence, the nonprofit. And that hotel created so much economic engine that the bonding companies came in and said, we'll bond that deal. We'll do that. We love that deal. So we gave up the hotel and the private opportunity to make all the money on it.
Which is huge for a developer to do.
And no normal sound-minded developer would do that, right?
No, I want the people to know.
Right? So we put that together and said, okay, arena, youth hockey, hotel, water park, hook it all together with this beautiful plaza. And that's what started evolving. Well, we didn't own any land out there. And part of the funding mechanism to make it all work was some revenue from the hotel and then, of course, the sales tax increment. But it still didn't there was still a gap because what we had to do, we were labored with the challenge of fixing the intersection of Highway 17 and 34, which is broke. Yes. It has been broke. It hasn't met a single traffic warrant for 20 years. It's a disaster. Insane. It's really the state of Colorado's responsibility, but they're not fixing it.
Right.
So we have to fix that interchange. So that $60 million got thrown onto the lap of us to figure it out. Well, we run a lot of metro districts. We know how to do that. Well, there's it's a kind of a glorified metro district, but it's called a general improvement district. And we went to the experts and said, yes, if you did a general improvement district over all of that land, and you had some increments for taxing and also some increments for some sales tax and some increment for a development fee enhancement in that area, we could use that mechanism and bond that right away and help build the interchange and build for infrastructure.
Genius.
So, and it's such a big area that there's $2 billion of bonding without ever being labored one penny to a taxpayer in Greeley. Now, if you live in that district or if you're shopping in that district, yes. But anybody historical Greeley doesn't get paid, charged a penny. Same with the bonds. So this thing was 100% concocted and cooked to where it didn't ever touch the Greeley taxpayers.
Never affected the taxpayers.
Right. And
which is another misconception.
Right. It could not go. In fact, there's a firewall where it could not go to the taxpayers.
It wasn't allowed to.
Nope. So what needed to happen was it needed to be incubated, needed to be studied. So Greeley spent about $5 million, third-party studies, confirming all of the numbers, getting more solid construction costs and all those kind of things. And that's the risk part of a project, is when you spend all those millions of dollars and then you get a fatal flaw. Soils are no good. Steel prices went bad, whatever.
Yeah,
that's the fatal flaw period.
Yeah.
So Greeley took that risk and it seasoned out. The bondholders came in and underwrote and said, yes, we love that deal. We'll do it. Providence, the nonprofit that just did the new hotel in front of the Air Force Academy. Beautiful hotel, Alaris down there.
Oh, in Colorado Springs?
Yep.
Okay.
The same company, same bonding, same everything.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was all going along. We're moving through, and then all of a sudden this controversy starts about using certificates of participation to incubate the deal. And all of a sudden Greeley gets sued, and they get sued for Tabor violation. They get sued for yada, yada, yada. And it just turned into this slugfest.
Yeah.
And then they went out and got petitions against us. Those got thrown out because it was the decision that was made to do the project on the COPs was administrative. So we kind of thought it was going to go away, and it went away. Well, then we went through just on the standard operating procedures of doing a project. Then you come through with the zoning. Well, going back to the general improvement district, the only way we could make it work is if the landowners would jump into the GID. Nobody would. So the only way we could keep it moving is we sold out of a bunch of stuff here, and we bought all that land out there so that we could commit it to the GID.
Yeah.
So, and really anybody in that GID is committing to paying the bills for people traveling on Highway 34 without charging them for it.
Right.
It's really
so when people say you have no risk in this.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
All your risk was in this.
Enormous risk. Not only that, but the risk of moving a proven entity like the Colorado Eagles. Enormous risk. You're jeopardizing that model. So
insane.
So we took the risk. We bought the land. We committed to a 40-year lease with the Eagles, and we're moving along. And then all of a sudden, you see the stop fentanyl signs in front of all the grocery stores again, and they're using that to bait people in with paid signature gatherers. And there was some volunteerism. I'll give some. There's a crowd over there that probably is, in all sincerity, really scared of this deal, and they're sincere about their mission. But there was dark money that came in, and they paid signature gatherers, and they got signatures to put us back on the ballot over a zoning issue, not over the project. It has nothing to do with the project.
Right.
Just the zoning. But they knew that if they killed the zoning, they killed the project.
Why do you feel this project got so much energy, so much scrutiny? Why do you feel like this came so high to social media, to the society? Why do you feel like this one, for whatever reason?
Well, number one, it's big. Number two, in today's world, when you have legal money and money to go hire third-party consultants to discredit the other ones, when you have somebody funding a hate campaign, it's easy to get traction.
Yeah.
So if there's a grassroots deal that's just simply grassroots, it normally has this really nice dialogue, and you come in and you meet and you go, oh, well, I didn't understand that. Let's go build it together. Or me as a developer, I would say, oh, I didn't know that. I'm not going to build it. Right? We never had that dialogue with the other group. It was just lawyers instantly suing city, suing us, whatever. So it's big. And, in today's social media world, it's easy to scare people.
It is.
There can be people that pretend that they're experts. Say, I know for a fact this is going to ruin Greeley.
Or write things that say as fact.
Yeah, so what's been written about me since this deal. I've never seen like it. For the record, had nothing to do with Future Legends. I had nothing to do with the Bank One Center in Denver. I had nothing to do with the Iran war. I was never on Epstein. I was never on Epstein's island.
These are the things we want to clarify.
Right. I did not fake the moon landing. I did not do that. But they just start this.
But truly,
it's how it goes. And then the next thing you know, someone goes, I read that Martin Lind, blah, blah, blah. And all of it's.
There's a seed, and then there grew a tree.
Well, and it's funny because we've got this 40-year track record living through 2 recessions, and one of them was catastrophic, almost
Yeah.
the Great Depression.
Right.
Never filed bankruptcy, navigated our way through it, never
You've
not paid a bill,
proven.
right? And that's why John Gates and they came over to, but we've never left a cracked sidewalk or a dead tree in our wake. And we've developed a lot in Water Valley, and the people that live in Water Valley and Raindance love living here.
They do.
You know, there's always somebody that's got a barking dog next door that's my fault, but there's like
Or
literally
a goose that poops on the
Right,
beach,
exactly.
and that's.
But as
called
a
on,
general whole, I live here too. Like you live here. Like
Yeah.
everybody lives. So when you live where you work, you got to be super cautious because you don't want to be the guy that left a mess, right? So
100%.
so that's what got us the invite originally, and super honoring. But it also, there's an old fable about the prophet has no value in his hometown. Like it's like some of the stuff that has happened to us. If we were an out-of-state developer, we would have flipped this thing the bird and we'd be gone.
This
Like,
is a
not even
super random
considered.
thing, but when Dad flew me to Florida, when me and Justin moved there in the military, we went to, this is so random, but this makes me think of this. We went to a development. The pool was empty. There was like 10 homes, and there was one sales girl. And you were like, hey, can I talk to the developer, whoever's there? They were like, oh, he doesn't live here. He lives in California. We're in Florida. And I don't know if you remember this, but I've always remembered that because Dad's always said, I live here. I live here. I work here.
Mhm.
Everything that I do is here. And I never really appreciated it until we moved to Florida and we went to that development and you were there and you asked, well, where the pool was empty, like everything's, this was in 2008, 2009.
Mhm.
And I'm like, wow, it is such a blessing to have you live here, work here. It's just so unique. It's so rare to have the developer. I mean, people just don't realize
Right.
the
We
the
call it
blessing.
the shadow theory. I tell you guys about that all the time.
Yeah.
But if you remember right, I was a real estate expert back then. Remember that? Remember how smart I was? And there was those condos where you bought,
Yes.
and they were selling for $350,000,
In
and
Florida.
you could buy the one for $165,000.
Yes.
And I go, it's the perfect time. You guys buy that.
Interest rates were at 6.5.
You'll
And
never.
you were like, this is free
you're
money.
You're going to double your money. You're going to blah blah.
Yeah.
And I think 2 years later, you sold it for $145.
It was bad. It wasn't the
Yeah.
best deal.
Yeah,
but
we did not have a good recovery on that recession.
No.
But in all fairness, free advice, you get what you pay for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I still remember that of you walking into that development and being just like so surprised that they were like, "Oh, he lives in California,"
Yeah. And
and you were like, "What?" Like,
yeah, the weeds weren't mowed.
like nothing's there, and I just was like, "Wow, it's so rare to have."
I can't tell you. It's very seldom that I come in to work and I don't even get I either get a text or an email from somebody going, "Hey, did you know that the fence blew down?" Or did you know? And so there's this tangibility to living where you work.
Well, you have to
and-
drive by it every day.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a sense of pride and there's a sense of
Yeah.
fiduciary to the people that invested here in their houses. And a house is the number one investment for everybody. So we got to be super cautious to make sure we do a good job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's super cool, and I think that's things that people don't. This is exactly what I wanted people to see about
right.
you and understand about you.
And Cascadia is super cool because we really have prided our company into hanging onto the fabric of the community or the town or so Raindance Ag, Water Valley, this rich water right that was with this property. Cascadia has this giant water resource in the city of Greeley that nobody gets to see.
Yeah.
And when it's built, everybody will know that Greeley is the oasis of northern Colorado.
Water.
And there's again, the arguments of you're wasting water. The water's evaporating in a different zip code right now or a different area code right now in northern Colorado. It belongs to the people of Greeley. We want to bring some of it down and let them celebrate and let them play on it.
See
yes.
it. Let
Their property values come up because of that beautiful water.
Right.
Not just the cities to the west.
Yeah.
So that's what it's going to be. And I feel really comfortable that in 100 years, that will be one of the coolest places in the world to live is somewhere in this area, Water Valley, Raindance, Cascadia.
I believe it.
Uh-huh.
So I'm going to circle back to the Eagles.
Okay.
A little bit. So we're going from, 5,800 seats
Mm-hmm.
to
8,600.
8,600.
Uh-huh.
So a little under doubling.
Right.
Tell us what that does for
The
the
re-
Colorado Eagles and for the community.
Right. So speaking of those Colorado Eagles, they were awarded the American
Yes,
Hockey
let's talk
League
about that. That's so
Franchise of the
exciting.
Year last night at the league meetings. Ryan Bach, I wasn't there, but Ryan, our president, just kept going up and getting award after award. Number one fan experience, number one ticket margins, blah, 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 blah.
And we did that in our
In the
smallest
smallest
arena.
building in there. Yeah.
So imagine what we can do
Right.
in, would you say, how many seats?
8,600.
8,600
And the reason that we're not just doubling and saying, well, 5,000 to 10,000 is because the 8,600 seats in this new arena are going to use the square footage of about a 10,000 seat arena. So for a concert, it'll hold 10 or 11,000.
Right. Yeah, because with
me,
ice, yeah.
But the 8,600 seats are so cool. There's so many different opportunities. If you have a birthday party for 10 kids, there's a place. If you have a birthday party for 100 kids,
There's
if
a
you
place.
have a corporate event for 500, there's a place.
Yeah.
And so it's this variety of options of seating and viewing positions. It's one of the greatest buildings that Populous, our architects, say they've ever designed. It's super cool because, again, that topography that lets us play with this water up here, let us lower the bowl 25 feet. So when you walk in at plaza level, you look in the show right then. You don't have to go up an escalator to go down Blue Arena. You go up the stairs to go down.
Up, down.
You hear, you feel the vibe coming out the second that you walk in that lobby.
Yeah.
The lobbies are big. They're full of waterfalls. They're full of big reader screens. Everything is first class. This is the most first class building in the American Hockey League.
Yeah. I remember when we went to Coachella in
Mhm.
California, and you were saying, like, this is going to be something similar to what we want to build over at Cascadia.
Coachella building was built for the Seattle Kraken's affiliate team, the Firebirds.
Okay. Yeah.
It sits in the middle of a desert. It's on an interstate, but there's nothing out there.
Yeah.
There's not a McDonald's. It's by itself out there. And it is an enormous economic engine. It's full every night.
Yeah.
And it was really built more for the concert venue than the hockey. So they don't have the big center hung. They only have a screen on the end.
Yeah.
And so some of the fans have to look back to look at the replay like this. But it is so successful for all the hockey or for all of the concerts and all the other stuff.
Yeah. So talk about that. Having it be in the center of an entertainment district.
Right.
What does that mean for Northern Colorado, Greeley, and all surrounding areas?
So there will only be one entertainment district in all of Northern Colorado.
And that will be Cascadia.
And it'll be Cascadia.
Yeah.
It was always considered to be the ranch. It was always going to be over there. And sometimes you're too close to success. So if you've been to the ranch and the traffic and you can't even get off on Clydesdale, you have to go down to Fairgrounds. And so Cascadia is designed entertainment district first, then development. Whereas the ranch, we kind of just stuck it into an area that had already been streets defined and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So your fluid movement of the cars and all that stuff, it's all cooked into the sausage of this. So your in and out's going to be peaceful. There's no cones, right? It's just really all.
It's all been thought through.
By not by me, by
and
industry experts that do that traffic movement and all that. So the entertainment district, though, will be to Northern Colorado what Coors Field and Ball Arena or the Pepsi Center or, the Penner family is now going to move Mile High, right?
Yeah.
They're not moving a football field. They're building a $3 billion deal down the road where there's more land to develop, and they're building this enormous entertainment district.
Yeah.
And so that's going to happen up here. And the anchor tenant of Cascadia will be the entertainment district, and the entertainment districts must have an anchor tenant or they don't work. Colorado Eagles, proven entity.
And they signed a
40-year lease,
which is
the longest in the AHL, longest in minor league sports. And normally you wouldn't do that. And it's odd that I got a developer hat, I have a landowner hat, and I'm the owner of the Colorado
Eagles.
Eagles.
A lot of hats,
right? but my fiduciary duty is to Northern Colorado, and so I had no problem signing a 40-year lease. Yeah, that takes away value and leverage at year 20 when you can go say, hey, I'm going to move to Colorado Springs or I'm going to move to Bismarck or whatever.
Sure, but the value here.
I don't want to leave. I don't want to go. I have this burden of 14 grandkids within 5 miles of here.
It's weird. I don't know who did that.
I know a couple of them.
Crystal?
I know where some of them came from.
5.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so speaking of anchor tenants, we have Mattel coming in.
Right.
And I think that's a really big thing. I mean, they are worldwide.
Right.
And I know at Christmas you told us we, as in Cascadia, are one of how many that they have said that they were going to commit to.
It's a little bit humorous right now, but the very first 3 they approved were Chicago, Orlando, and Greeley.
That is just crazy.
I know. And in all fairness, those 3 cities are always spoken about in the same triangle.
Always. Greeley, Colorado's always in those top 3.
Surprised we didn't throw Severance. And it was funny because our operator, Rick Coleman, he's one of the most dynamic in the nation. He's been working with Mattel, and he was so excited last summer when he goes, Martin, I got the Mattel license. I want to put it in the Rocky Mountain Grand. And
so he put it in front of them.
Yes.
And they said,
yeah. And so American Resort Management is who is our operator of the Water Park Hotel.
Okay.
Rick Coleman is the one we've really been working with him for over a decade. So the Rocky Mountain Grand was incubated in 2016 for the State Regional Tourism Authority.
Okay.
So that's how long. But anyway, Rick got the Mattel intellectual property agreement done. And, honestly, I was like, Barbie.
Yeah, well, that's what I think.
Right?
Barbie.
Hot Wheels.
Right?
I'm like, what is this?
But Mattel is like just a household name.
But now, after learning it and going down to Orlando last fall and seeing what it is,
much more.
It's unbelievable. And I cannot wait because there will not be a little kid in Northern Colorado that doesn't know the difference between them being in downtown Disneyland or being in this water park.
Yeah.
And it is mesmerizing.
Incredible.
And we'll be able to share some of that intellectual property on this podcast today.
Yeah.
But it's stunning. And what I've learned is, Mattel is Rock'em Sock'em Robots. Mattel is the Magic 8-Ball, which has got to be the dumbest thing in the world, right? Don't tell Mattel I said that, but you shake it and it says "Don't do it" or ask her, or these little things that come up.
Yes.
Well, each one of those intellectual properties is this amazing thing that produces revenue for Mattel. So the lazy river, you'll be able to go by and you'll push a button, and the Rock'em Sock'em guy does this. It interacts. The Magic
Disneyland.
The Magic 8-Ball spins. The Uno card spins, the Pictionary, it has all this. And then the Fisher-Price area where the little kids play, where it's a no-drowned area. It's just where you play in the water.
Kiddie pool.
Yeah, you can't drown in that. All of the little Fisher-Price things that we've all bought for our kids, they're all there in 10X life, right? And then you move over to the next neighborhood. Mattel's really defined about the neighborhoods. The next neighborhood is the Hot Wheels, and the slides are, and the slides look like the Hot Wheel track.
Specific to every
And then you get to the older kids, and that's the Master of the Universe, and there's more aggressive play in the swimming pools, and there's basketball hoops and volleyball hoops, and then you get to the Barbie, right? And you got the Barbie Flow Rider and the Barbie Tinker Hut.
Yeah.
And then you get to the Barbie Wave Pool, and there's Barbie houses, and each one of those creates additional NOI for the city of Greeley. And for everybody in Weld County.
I wouldn't want that.
No, it's insane. And then you take that DNA and you push it into the hotel, and you have the Barbie room and the Hot Wheel room, and so you have a birthday weekend, and you rent the Barbie room, and you go down and you have
Barbie slide,
right?
And you create your own Barbie, and yeah,
and it's unbelievable how much additional NOI that brings. But not only that, but it creates a driving radius to us of enormous. It adds hundreds of miles to the people that want to come drive to us.
Right.
And so,
because where else? I mean, the closest one would be California.
They don't even have one in California.
Oh, what did you say?
Chicago and then Orlando.
Oh, Chicago and Florida.
Yeah. And so they'll continue to add them as a success comes.
All of West Coast were the closest.
Right. The Mattel people told me when we were in Orlando that there will be people plan their vacation off of the Mattel destination in Greeley, Colorado, out of California.
100%.
And then they were spinning up how all of the intellectual property works. Mattel has movies, the Barbie movie, the Hot Wheels movie, right?
They have 100,000 movies.
So what happens is when they're coming out with a movie, they'll have all that intellectual property will come to us. We'll
put it in the amphitheater and do the...
Yep, and they'll have that stuff in our water park. So when the movie comes out, it's right there.
It's amazing.
We're the first ones to have it. Yeah.
It's amazing.
So it's a really cool thing. And Rick Coleman is the guy that put it all together, and he's the one that brought it to Greeley for us. I'm
trying to look at my notes, but I really don't care that much. This is way much more fun. Oakville Group. You want to talk about Oakville?
OVG, yeah.
Yes.
So
okay.
OVG,
let's talk about OVG.
OVG is a company that we've done a lot of business with, and they've been at the Blue Arena Bud Center since day one.
Yes.
Our relationships are strong, and they have grown it's unbelievable how big that company has got, and they have such an incredible
Because
track
they're
record
the largest in the
industry. Yeah,
okay.
yeah. And so they have all the access to all the cool shows and all the neat stuff, and they want to come with us. So they want to activate this project.
So that's another big thing.
We have the
Having all
best.
these
What's
big-
interesting is we have the best in the world. We have the best architects, the best contractors, the best engineers. We have the best activation companies. So Oakview, when we have Oakview, that means we have all the A talent. We have all the great catering and the food service, and
It's
there's
different than Blue Arena.
Yeah, there's some people that will see this podcast and say, I would debate that, but it's not debatable. They're number one in the world for activation of these buildings.
Okay, so we talk about Colorado Eagles. Tell us about the youth hockey and what that means for Northern Colorado.
So one of the biggest engines of this entire project that gets overlooked all the time is the youth hockey.
Youth hockey.
So the 3 sheets of ice that we'll be building are attached to the arena so you can get back and forth. So, for instance, when we program a big national tournament here, the Colorado Eagles will go on a road trip that weekend so that the youth hockey can have access to
the big ice.
Right.
Yep.
And so the youth hockey facility we're building, again, Populous, our architect, has said it's the very best youth hockey facility they've ever designed. The center bowl has seats for 2,500 people. Youth hockey is a monster industry, monster.
It is.
And
I've witnessed that firsthand.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, with the Olympic gold medal for the women, the men, and the sled hockey teams, has really manifested hockey again. It has one of the largest jump in professional sports interest.
Yeah.
And
Kids are excited to start it. Yeah.
So the youth hockey is a monster part of this. What's interesting is some of the hate group against us is we don't need another hotel, blah, blah. Our hotel is full. So when we bring a youth hockey tournament, we're going to have to go leverage all the rooms. When we bring in a visiting team for the Eagles, we need to take them somewhere else because our hotel is filled with water park people.
Right.
So this is going to incubate more hospitality. The DoubleTree downtown is a perfect example. We can shove teams. They'll use the Ice House in downtown Greeley as one of the venues that we will program into youth hockey tournaments.
Yeah.
And so it's a monster model. It's a proven model. It's recession-proof model. Maybe a little bit stereotypical, but most of the time, if you're going to have a kid in hockey, you need to have a really good disposable income, right? Because, like I said, a goalie pads is $1,500, right?
It's expensive. Yes.
And then they outgrow skates that just cost you $400, and they move them every week, right? So,
right. Yeah.
So it's a demographic. So what we really, really want to do is we want to create a scholarship to where the underprivileged kids have the access to this because.
I knew it. I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. This is what gets you. Pulls at your heartstrings.
Cut. Cut.
Don't cut. Oh my God, Dad. His nose wrinkles and my eyes water.
Well, I'm not sure how to do this, but in all honesty, that was me. That was me and my siblings, and we didn't have any money. We watched other kids go to the mountains and go skiing, and we got to go to Shark's Tooth and freeze in our blue jeans, right?
That's where Hoedown came from.
Right. We didn't have, so.
Stop. Every time. I said once he starts, Crystal's crying. Dad! But it's because we've seen it.
Been there.
We watched it.
That underprivileged kid, that's another reason why, this place creates 4,000 jobs. My buddy Craig Billington, who is a vice president of the Colorado Eagles, has the same story. He sharpened skates. He sold hot dogs. He did everything so that he could have enough money to buy that pair of skates so that he could go on to have an 18-year career.
You surround yourself with people who have been in your position and you've watched them create success out of pennies. So I think that's why it means so much to you when you see your friends be successful. That's why it means so much to us to see you be successful.
Well,
because we watched you struggle.
I mean, think about it. Right now in Northern Colorado, there's very little opportunity for someone to go be a NHL player someday. We have very limited ice.
It's true.
This one building will incubate NHL player after NHL player.
Yeah.
And what happens is when that happens, and it might not be in my lifetime, but that guy's going to go sign a $20 million contract.
What do you mean? You're going to leave to your 200?
I hope not. I hope not. My feet are here.
Oh, Dad.
Yeah. But that guy is going to come back, and his hometown is where he's going to invest.
Yeah.
And he's going to scholarship.
And he's going to come back
it
and he's
happens
going
all
to
the
preach
time.
and he's going to say,
Right.
This is where I learned to skate and this
Yeah.
is where I
I
grew
mean, a
up.
lot of
And-
these have baseball fields all over from people that are making hundreds of millions endowing baseball fields.
Right.
We're having the same thing in hockey. And then they're in a better their community because that's where
they grew up. That's where they learned to skate. Yeah. I think that's super important. Oh my God. Okay. Gosh. I knew it was coming.
had to mention youth hockey, didn't you?
Gosh.
Yeah. I do though. I get really emotional about watching, the benevolent side of our companies is really a fun part of it. But getting kids off a tablet, getting them to be future leaders because they know what teamwork means, they know what sacrifice means, they know what
And
important.
hockey is such a good teamwork, building character sport.
I don't want to be disrespectful to other sports. Anytime you're a professional athlete, but when this whole thing started, I had just finished a partnership with some My Profile.
Football.
Yeah. And Ralph Baxter brought this and we were talking about it. And I said, Ralph, tell me about a hockey player. And he goes, the hockey player is different. That's the guy that won 6 Stanley Cups. And I go, tell me why a hockey player is different. He goes, well, you're going to really, really get really good at basketball if you just have a hoop and a piece of asphalt. You really get it.
Yeah.
But because you can't at hockey because you have to have a moment that dad tell your skates when you're little.
Here we go again. It's so true though, and they need ice and they need support and it's big financials and you have to have ice close because even when the Twins were in hockey, I mean the closest was either Greeley at the ice house or Noco Ice, which wasn't even that convenient.
Right. And then if you're like, this is crazy, but I got my haircut yesterday and the lady cutting my hair was going, don't quit, Martin, don't quit. My child's we're in youth hockey and we need this and so bad, and it's right. Yeah.
And that just shows you how local this funnels down to. There's a lot of people that you might not realize that you affect, but you do. Okay, Dad. So obviously we know the vote back in February with Cascadia.
Uh-huh.
What has to come together now to move forward?
So there's a lot of moving pieces and a lot of people working really hard on it. Still, I know our company is. Lenders, or bondholders and financial advisors, legal teams that are working. Obviously, the zoning on the property is an issue that we'll see where that shakes out. But it's fully intended on fulfilling the promise of rain.
The fact of the matter is that it is moving forward.
Yeah.
Okay.
On the site itself right now, it's very frustrating because we had to shut the site down and reseed it. And in reseeding in Colorado this year, worst drought ever. We're using water to irrigate up grass that we should have concrete there right now and plazas.
Yeah.
It is what it is. And we've had projects that have stalled and we fully intend on building this sucker.
Power through. Nothing is, what is it the saying? Nothing worth having comes easy, right?
That's exactly right.
So 10 years from now, you walk into Cascadia. What's your vision?
So this is crazy, but it's one of the largest plazas in all 6 blocks long. If you walk in from the east, you will see a storytelling plaza of how Greeley's water started in the 1800s. And there will be mimicked creeks and some archive out of the Greeley Water Department's boneyards. And there will be kids playing in things that were actually forged from steel 100 years ago. And so we've got all of that stuff designed into the plaza. I see ice cream trucks and balloons and all the stuff, right?
Yeah.
You get to the end of the plaza on the west end, the show pond and the fountains. Interestingly enough, we mimicked exactly the show pond and fountains, the same operator, same everything, same equipment as Grand Prairie, Texas. This weekend in Grand Prairie,
Yes, I
Texas,
remember, yeah.
there was 16,000 people a night showed up because they were injecting the World Cup on the water. And there was 16,000 people every night in the plaza to watch.
And you have that same vision.
The exact same thousands, the exact same. So
Yeah.
I just see it as this gathering place for the communities. And even though it lives in Greeley, it's Northern Colorado's gathering place.
Yeah.
And that's what entertainment districts do.
Yeah. They bring people together.
And to be very selfish, an entertainment district is where people go looking for happiness. And so it's going to be a happy place.
Yeah. They're going to, God dang it. I know.
10 years.
Kids,
I'll be 75.
families, I know.
I'll be wheeled.
Truby will be 12.
Oh my God.
Let's not even think about that.
Right?
I know. But that is the vision. That is, it's not just about right now. This is about a future generation.
This project is so generational.
Yeah.
Because there will never be two. There's only one.
There's only one.
Wherever it lands is where the happy place in North Colorado is going to be. And concerts and hockey games and water parks and hotel guests and visitors and all of the stuff that goes with that tourism thing comes in and it manifests the local economy.
Yeah.
We all love to go on vacation. We love to go to that fun little neighborhood place. Well, when we do that, we're manifesting everybody that calls that place home.
Right.
Because when you bring a tourist dollar into town, it mushrooms your economy. And when we take our money that we earn in Northern Colorado and we go to Disneyland, we mushroom their economy. Okay, taking our dollar and we're taking it somewhere else.
Right.
If I go to downtown Windsor right now and I buy a taco at Taco Bell, I'm keeping it in my community.
Right.
But if somebody from Nebraska drives in and puts the same taco, he's mushrooming our economy in Colorado.
Right.
And so that tourist dollar is so valuable to Greeley's economy, to Weld County's economy. It's a monster model.
It really is. And I think that's the biggest thing is that people aren't focusing in on the future.
This project was designed to save that. This project was never going to cost the city.
Right.
This project was going to be that new revenue stream that came in so they don't have to shut down the library, so they don't have to shut down the museums, so they don't have to lay people off. This was the economic engine that Greeley has been missing.
Yes.
And right now, when Greeley residents or Weld County residents run over and we shop at Shields with no disrespect to that, God bless Johnstown and God bless Loveland for getting ahead of it.
Right.
So we pay for their stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Our tax dollars go through the sales tax or the PIFs that are charged. We in Weld County go pay for Larimer County stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a us or them thing, but that's just the way it is. And the move to bring Cascadia and to bring the Eagles and the Rocky Mountain brand to Weld County
moving it
reverses that leak.
Yeah.
And so, be honest with you, I've said this 100 times. We've always lived on the county line road, and we always called it the beauty and the beast. Weld County had ag, oil, energy, has all the heavy industry. It was the beast. And Larimer County had Estes Park and Taffy Machine and elk and waterfall.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty. And I always said if you could bring some of the beauty to the beast, it would be unstoppable. And that's what this thing is.
That's what Cascadia is.
Yeah, because the energy and the ag and the prowess of the GDP in Greeley is incredible.
Yeah.
The jobs. I heard a really cool one the other day that, man, if you let people play, Weld County's where people go to work.
Mm-hmm.
If you let them go to play there too, they'd be unstoppable. So
I love that.
that's what we're doing.
Yeah, I love that. Last question. What does opening day look like for you? What do you envision? What do you imagine?
So there'll be several opening days, but the opening day that I think of is when we actually drop the puck.
I was just going to say it's going to come down to the Eagles. Yeah.
Because the way the timing is now that we've been delayed, it'll probably be that the hotel will open before the arena.
Yeah.
But opening day in the arena, I can go through this. Opening day in the arena, John Gates is going to walk out and he's going to drop that puck because he has paid his dues.
He really has.
It'll be back. I can promise you that.
Couple tears.
Probably. We'll probably fall on the ice and break a hip.
No,
end up in intensive care. Pneumonia, that'll be it.
No.
Opening day at the water park, I'm going down the water slide. I don't care.
Oh,
I don't care
hey,
how
you
old
have
I
that
am.
on record. We're going down the water
I'm going to
slide.
ride on every ride. I can promise. You know how much I love water.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. Opening day at the youth hockey. I can't wait. That's going to be glorious.
Oh, it's going to be packed.
Look like an anthill.
It is going to be packed.
Yeah. And then opening day in the plaza. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just going to be glorious.
Your vision, Greeley's vision, Northern Colorado's vision come to life.
Yeah.
And it's going to happen.
I feel like it.
A little bit of roadblocks, but
Yeah.
hey, like we said earlier, nothing worth having comes easy.
Yes. And I think that, I really feel Northern Colorado deserves it.
You grew up here. You live here. You play here. You work here.
Yeah,
So-
I'm super jazzed about what this thing could be. And it ties together, too. It just ties.
It just feels right now. Like after all this, you can't imagine it without it. You can't drive by where Cascadia is going to be and not envision it. It's meant to be.
No, and it would be devastating to drive by that created hole next to a salvage yard the rest of my life and say I didn't do enough. So I'm going to try and do enough.
Well, thank you, Dad, for coming on the podcast again. Well, thank you, everybody, for watching. If any of you guys have questions, we genuinely want you guys to email us, text us, send us DMs. Let us know what you guys are concerned about. We see a lot of the comments, and we just want to address them. So please let us know, and we want you to come sit down with my dad. Come sit down with our team and let us know. We're happy to answer them.